Alright, let's expand asterisk key point E. Worrying about the future robs you of the present into a full backward segment, keeping the tone deep, motivational, and flowing naturally as if part of a lecture. One of the most destructive habits we fall into as human beings is obsessing over the future. We play out scenarios in our minds, rehearsing every possible disaster, imagining every way in which things could go wrong. We think if we worry enough, maybe we'll somehow prevent the pain or shield ourselves from disappointment. But the truth is, worry doesn't protect you. It weakens you. It robs you of the very strength you would need to deal with the future when it actually arrives. When you spend your time locked in worry, you are making a dangerous trade. You are giving up the present, the only piece of reality you truly have, in exchange for a fantasy of control over something that doesn't exist yet. And that trade is always a loss, because the future, by definition, has not happened. You can't grasp it, you can't stand in it, and no amount of worry will make it bend to your will. What you can grasp, what you can stand in is this moment, the present, and the present is the only place where action is possible. There's a paradox here. The more you fixate on controlling the future, the less prepared you actually become to shape it. Why? Because your energy is drained in endless mental rehearsal rather than in real work. You spend your strength chasing ghosts. You exhaust yourself imagining storms that may never come, and by the time real challenges arrive, you're already worn out. Worry is like paying interest on a debt you don't even owe yet. It takes from you without giving anything in return. This is not to say you should live carelessly with no thought of what's ahead. Planning is necessary. Preparation is wise. But there's a profound difference between planning and worrying. Planning looks at the future realistically, takes action in the present, and then moves forward with strength. Worrying, on the other hand, is paralyzing. It stares at the future helplessly while leaving the present wasted. The first builds, the second destroys. Think about it this way. Life only ever happens in one place. The now, the past is gone. The future isn't here. All you have, and all you will ever truly have, is this unfolding moment. If you're constantly living in tomorrow, you're never really alive today. And when today is lost, the future you're so afraid of becomes weaker anyway, because today was the foundation upon which tomorrow was meant to be built. The irony is that by surrendering the present to worry, you create the very conditions that make the future more dangerous. If you avoid working today because you're too worried about whether you'll succeed tomorrow, then you've already undermined your chances. If you avoid building relationships today because you're worried about being hurt later, then you've already created the loneliness you feared. Worry is self-filling. It makes real the very things you were most desperate to avoid. And here's the deeper psychological truth. Worry is often an excuse. It feels like action, but it isn't. It gives you the illusion of responsibility, when really it's just paralysis disguised as effort. You tell yourself, at least I'm thinking about it, at least I care, but you're not moving, you're not acting, you're not growing. Worry is the coward's way of feeling busy. So what's the alternative? It's not ignorance. It's not pretending that the future doesn't matter. The alternative is presence. It's learning to anchor yourself in the now, to recognize that this moment is both your battlefield and your opportunity. When you bring your full attention here, when you work, when you create, when you love, when you build, you're not ignoring the future. you're strengthening yourself for it. The irony is that the best way to secure the future is not to obsess over it, but to live with full engagement in the present. A person who works with discipline today will meet tomorrow prepared. A person who trains their mind and their character now will face the unknown with strength. A person who cultivates gratitude and courage in this moment will not be easily shaken by what comes next. In this sense, worrying about the future is not only useless, it's counterproductive. The less you worry, the more capable you become of handling what's ahead. So the challenge is this: whenever your mind begins to spiral into tomorrow, remind yourself, what can I do right now? What step can I take, however small, in this moment? Because action in the present is always more powerful than anxiety about the future. Worry is wasted energy. Action is energy transformed into progress, and progress compounds, turning today's courage into tomorrow's strength. Worrying about the future robs you of the present, and when you give up the present, you give up everything, because life doesn't exist anywhere else. Anchor yourself here, put your focus where your feet are, build today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. Strength in the present creates security in the future. Into a full Bob Atwood segment with the same intellectual, motivational style flowing naturally as part of your speech. The truth about the future is that it is never secure. No amount of planning, no amount of predicting will ever make it fully safe. Life has always been uncertain, and it always will be, but that uncertainty does not mean you are powerless. In fact, it's the uncertainty that gives your actions meaning, because every choice you make today is a way of shaping tomorrow, not by removing its unpredictability, but by giving yourself the strength to face it, whatever come. The future isn't secured by fear. It isn't made stable by endless worry or anxiety. It becomes secure through the foundation you build in the present. When you discipline your mind, when you develop your skills, when you strengthen your character, you create a reservoir of resilience that no amount of uncertainty can destroy. The storms will still come, but when they do, you will be the kind of person who can withstand them. Think about this: security is not the absence of dangers, it is the presence of strength. If you spend your life hoping the world will become predictable, you will always be disappointed. But if you spend your life building yourself into someone who can endure the unpredictable, then suddenly the future is no longer a threat. It is simply the next chapter waiting for you to walk into it. Most people, when they worry about the future, are really saying, I don't trust myself to handle what's coming. They may not put it into words that way, but that's the reality. Anxiety is often a reflection of self-doubt, not of the world itself. The antidote then is not to obsessively study every possible outcome, but to build trust in yourself. That trust is born in the present. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you endure something hard, every time you step forward instead of shrinking back, you build evidence that you can be relied upon. And that evidence becomes the shield you carry into the future. It's like training. You don't wait until the day of the competition to suddenly become strong. You train daily, steadily, consistently until strength becomes part of who you are. The future works the same way. If you want confidence tomorrow, you must build discipline today. If you want courage tomorrow, you must practice facing fears today. If you want security tomorrow, you must act with integrity and responsibility today. The seed planted in the present becomes the harvest you reap in the future. And here's the profound irony: by strengthening yourself in the present, you make the future less frightening, not because you control it, but because you no longer need to You stop obsessing about what might happen because you trust that whatever does happen, you will meet it with courage. That trust transforms fear into opportunity. Suddenly, uncertainty isn't something to dread. It becomes the space where your potential can unfold. This is why people who take responsibility for themselves radiate a sense of calm even in the face of chaos. It's not that they know everything will work out exactly as planned. They know it won't. But they also know that no matter how it unfolds, they will remain grounded, steady, capable. That steadiness comes from the strength they've built day by day in moments of discipline and presence, not from some guarantee about. So the question is not what will happen tomorrow. The question is, who am I becoming today? Because tomorrow will always be uncertain. But the self you build in the present is the one thing you can actually control. And it's that self, the disciplined, resilient, courageous self, that will determine how you meet the future. If you want less fear in your life, stop asking for certainty and start asking for strength. Because it's not certainty that keeps you safe, it's strength. The stronger you are, the freer you become. Free from fear, free from anxiety, free from the endless loop of trying to control the uncontrollable. So when you catch yourself worrying about what lies ahead, redirect your energy. Don't waste it in endless mental rehearsal of disasters that may never happen. Use it instead to act right now, build something, learn something, strengthen something. Because every small act of discipline today is a brick in the foundation of your tomorrow. The future is never guaranteed, but it is always shaped. And the tool that shapes it isn't worry. It's strength, strength in mind, strength in spirit, strength in character. Build it now, live it now. And when the future comes, and it always does, you'll meet it not with fear, with courage. Strength in the present creates security in the future. And the moment you understand that, you stop waiting for life to get easier and you start working to get stronger.